I want you to rub the herpes on my face. No, I'm just playing.
To the wheeze.
Welcome to the weed, everybody.
Welcome to the weed.
We are your
We didn't
Anyways,
forget this
we are
time.
your
we didn't.
three lovely hosts, and one of us is sleep deprived. So let's do this.
So we're doing he's a looker.
Yeah,
We're doing Joel David Rifkin.
yeah,
Is that his name?
yeah. He's
Okay.
Jewish.
Yeah, you did.
Mazel.
Did you just yell he's
He is
Jewish?
Jewish.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Oh!
so tell you the truth.
Okay. Anyways, if we all pull up a picture of this man,
Yeah.
instantly you can tell he's a serial killer just from this picture. Look at his
Well, you're gonna have to
glasses.
hang on because I am currently taking the water out of the sink, so I can't look him up right
I know exactly. I
now.
know exactly what it looks like. The big, thick Coke bottle glasses. He had all the serial killer signs. He was secluded to
Signs.
he was secluded to his room. It was very messy.
Hmm.
He was weird around women. He got picked on growing up because he sucked at everything. And he was
Same.
like a gardener, like a landscaper.
That makes you a serial killer?
No,
Yeah,
Okay, Trump.
being a landscaper does not make you a serial killer. But like
it
having
does.
having off the wall jobs is like one of the stereotypical signs of being a serial killer. You know, like he
Mhm.
literally fits the stereotype of a serial killer. That doesn't mean that makes them a serial killer.
You like shopping?
Like shopping.
Shopping makes you a serial killer. What is going on?
Is that what you said?
No, I said he fits the stereotype.
No, what did she
Oh,
say?
she said shopping.
No, I asked my cat if it likes strawberries.
Oh,
Sorry.
strawberries.
Oh, I thought you
I
said
can't have
shopping.
strawberries. I'm allergic and I'll die.
Uh, Rude.
Let's not.
Well, so if we want to kill him, we can just give him strawberries. Nice to
I
know.
mean,
Noted.
We'll put that in our notes.
got sneaking in my
That he can't
you just got
eat.
sneaking in my food, and then all of a sudden I'm back. So, but
Noted.
he fit the stereotypical build of a serial killer. You know,
How is a serial killer built, Clint?
the stereotypical build. You know, they don't have very many friends. They're a loner. They seclude themselves away.
Us.
They aren't good with
Us.
women. Um,
Us.
yeah, but they're the stereotypical build that everybody thinks of. They look weird. They have the big Jeffrey Dahmer glasses. You know,
Us.
Us.
I mean, yeah, us, but not us because none of us are have off the wall jobs. We all have.
I'm a pizza delivery driver. I mean,
Hey, but that's better than nothing, though. At least you're not a landscaper and spending all your money on hookers.
She
you don't
could.
know what I spend my money on. I got a lot
Hey.
of ones, baby.
I mean, if you want to go to the strip club, that's your business. Take it for me, daddy. Go and find Chippendales.
Love that for us.
Is it? Are we? Do we?
So, anyways, so we're supposed to talk about Joel Rifkin. Are we recording right now? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, so anyway, so Joe Rifkin, go ahead, Libby. Let her rip.
Okay.
Let her rip.
Homie was born January 20th.
Really?
Yes, he was.
Guys,
1959.
you gotta excuse
Um,
everything. Laura is on one today. Lori is fucking on
he
one.
Am I? Am I?
Yeah,
he is an American serial killer, obviously, who was sentenced to 203 years in prison.
yeah. 203.
I always find that so funny because there ain't no way they're gonna live 203 years, right? So
I think
like
they say it to him for shock value instead of saying you have 15 life sentences.
just say life in
Yeah, but
prison.
I
The
know,
fuck?
but instead of saying like 15 life sentences, they're like you have 203 years. That way, when you die, your ghost will be in prison too. And if you're ever
Mm,
reincarnated, that person will be in prison also.
just born in prison. R.I.P.
Yeah.
Anyways, sentenced to 203 years in prison for the murders of nine women between 89 and 93. though it's believed he killed as many as 17 people. I like how he says people and not
I
women
thought
in
those were
that
the
statement.
ages for a second, and I was like, dang, they're already out the door.
Nah, 17 people. Um, they say people because they think there's a man in there somewhere, but they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Um, he was in New York,
The man
and
deserved it.
he was arrested in '93.
Yes.
Believe it or not. So when he stopped killing, he was arrested. He didn't like decide to be like, okay, let me lay low for a
No.
bit. He
I'm
was
done.
just arrested.
I
Nah. He got
got enough
he
killing
stopped
him.
killing because he got caught.
Anyways, Rifkin's birth parents were both young college students and his biological father was an army veteran. Ooh, on February 14th.
Ooh,
1950
veamos.
1959, when he was 3 years old, he was adopted by an upper middle class couple. Ooh, see, he was adopted, serial killer. Uh, living on Long Island. Love that for
Long
him.
Island. And say it right. You gotta say Long Island. It's gotta be one word. Long Island.
Oh,
You're
my bad.
lying.
He performed poorly in school, same, due to learning disabilities and was
Same.
unpopular with
Same.
classmates, same. He graduated from East Meadow High School in
Same.
1977,
No.
then attended classes at
Man, I don't even know where East Meadow's at.
me either, honestly. I'm assuming New York area.
Yeah.
Then attended classes at some community college, the State of University of New York at Brockport, and then the State of University of New York at Farmingdale, but left before earning a degree. After leaving college, Rifkin became self-employed as a
Told
landscaper.
you. You're having issues
I
reading today, aren't you, Libs?
am,
I could
honestly.
tell.
Is that
She
any
was,
different from
no,
normal?
no, she was struggling on university. That's how I knew.
I was like, why is there so many fucking universities right
You were
now?
like
But
university, and I was like, oh, she's having trouble today. You need coffee, Libs?
I do, honestly, but it's fine. It's fine. We're continuing on. On February 20th, 1987, his father, Bernard, committed suicide, saying overdosing
His
after
adopted
having
dad or his
No,
whatever?
his adopted father.
um
Mother?
His father.
it doesn't say here,
Father?
but we'll go with whatever his whatever Clint
Well,
says because it
it's his
doesn't
adopted father.
say
So his
here.
adopted father, I don't know if it's gonna say it in the Wikipedia, but his adopted father found out that he had cancer really bad. Like he was like on like fourth
Oh.
stage, fixing to die. My liver's fixing to pop out of my body. You know, and
Yeah, it says here he had
or
prostate
prostate then.
cancer.
His prostate was fixing to break free from his body. And so his
Same.
dad took a bunch of pills, well, it is his dad, even though it's his stepdad. His dad took a bunch of pills
Wait, no.
Facts.
Oh, I'm sorry.
and OD'd because he
Hmm.
was like,
Here,
I'm
here.
tired of living like this. And
Yeah, it says here that he committed suicide by oh my God, excuse me, overdosing after having suffered from prostate cancer for several
yeah.
months.
Who is
And
this?
so that
Oh
that
my.
literally messed with
Sorry, guys.
Joel, and because Joel was like the whole thing with that because him and his stepdad used to get into fucking big fights because his stepdad wanted him to be this
Uh,
all-American football star, and Joel couldn't because he sucked at everything. And so,
yeah,
Same.
because he was a serial
well,
killer.
no, I don't. That's
Same.
it wasn't because he was just a nerd. Um, and so Joe did really good in his class and in his community college they were talking about. He passed the test and everything. He was going to show his dad, yeah, I'm not a fuck up and I can do this. And his dad was like fucking offed himself because he was suffering with cancer. But in Joel's mind, he's like, he offed himself because he didn't want to see the test because he thought I failed. So now I'm going to kill 17 hookers.
Same. Anyways, on August 22nd, 1987, Rifkin was arrested during prostitution sting in Hempstead. Hempstead,
Hempstead.
New York, after offering an undercover female police officer money for sex. Hell yeah, baby.
Look, look here. I got this. I got this $20. If you do something strange for a piece of change, I got you, baby.
$20, make me
twenty
humble.
dollars. And he was like, "I am a police officer, sir." Damn it.
He was like, she
She
was
was like,
like.
"I know," because it was actually. Because I guarantee you, he's so goofy that it would have been a dude dressed up like a chick and be like, "I'm a police officer." And he'd be like, "Damn it. Can we still go in the back, get a little handy? Let's go. I need something. Come on now. Bada bing."
Same. Rifkin committed his first murder on February 20th, 1989. Oh my God, 2 years after his dad killed himself?
Yes. Is that
Serial killer.
I told you he is seriously a stereotypical serial killer. He has all the stereotypical signs. Like he's one of them that they should have caught because he literally matches every single list that you could ever think of about a serial killer. He's so bad at being a
um,
serial killer that he made himself look
same,
He's bad
exactly
at
like a
everything, he
serial
said.
killer because he sucked at
same,
everything.
same. Anyways, he killed Heidi Bulk in his
Yeah,
home in East Meadow. He then dismembered her body, removing her teeth and fingertips. Ooh, but like he took her teeth and
yeah.
fingertips.
So
Serial
like
killer.
if you watch the documentary because you saw that they had interview with a serial killer on there. If you watch the
Yeah,
documentary, the way he describes this is it's actually really chilling because he just acts like it's just a matter of the fact thing. Oh well, then I had to cut off her joints, so he took an X-Acto knife, like a little hobby knife. He killed this lady
yeah.
with he cut this lady up with an X-Acto knife. Cut around the joints. He's like, I just had to cut around the joints and pop the hip out. She started doing drugs and I got upset about it. So I beat her with my military shell that I have at my house that's decoration.
Same, not same.
No, not same. I've never done that actually.
All the same.
Not same.
Well, I hope not.
I've never killed a hooker with a military shell in my house.
Not in your house. Somewhere else, though,
No,
right?
never actually.
Yeah, somewhere
Never
else.
actually. I've never killed a hooker. I've never actually purchased a hooker.
You got it for free,
Oh,
huh?
yeah, I was gonna say, so he got it for free?
No,
But that's because he killed her
honestly
before
okay.
she got him.
This is a topic I will talk about. I am honestly afraid to get a hooker because I don't want to catch an STD. I've never had an STD, and I
Facts.
don't want to catch an STD, and I'm afraid that a sex worker will give me an STD because I'm pretty sure that's going to happen.
You know that, like, not just sex workers have
I
STDs,
know that.
right?
I know that.
Right.
But but you know what I'm saying? But that's why I've never personally paid for a hooker because it's kind of like that's their job is to do sex work. So they are having sex constantly because that is their job. Be far for
Right.
me from to judge anybody about what you do for work. That's your business. But I don't want to purchase something that has been used and is possibly going to give me an STD.
He wants to just get it for free.
Yeah.
Um,
Right, get that STD
Yeah,
free.
I want you to rub the herpes on my face. No, I'm just playing. That's that's fucking gross. Sorry, that was fucking gross.
Anywho,
That was fucking gross.
he he dismembered her body, removing her teeth and fingertips, putting her head in a paint can, which he left in the woods on a golf course in Hopewell, New Jersey, disposing of her legs further north and dumping her remaining torso and arms into the East River around New York City. On March 5th, 1989, Balk's severed head was discovered on the seventh hole of the golf course. On April 8th, 1989, her legs were found in the
Whoa,
bit. I ain't gonna even try to say that. Pequanoka?
how's it spelled?
Yeah, whatever you
How's it
said.
spelled?
The creek. Pequonnock.
I don't know. No idea. Pequannock, maybe.
There's no
Oh,
C
Pequannock?
before the
Pequannock, maybe?
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, let's go with Pequannock. Let's go
Sure,
with
we're gonna
that
get
creek
so much
near
hate from people from New York. Why you making fun of our name for?
near Jefferson.
Why you guys feeling for?
You could have just Google this. Near Jefferson Township, New Jersey. Her remains were not identified until 2013. Damn, that took them a long ass
Yeah,
time.
because he tore up the pieces and shit. And at the time, they weren't looking for a serial killer. So, like, you know what I
Right.
mean?
But still, until 2013.
Yeah. Well, he broke it into
Anyway,
pieces. That's what they do.
okay, okay, I believe
He
you.
said, I'm gonna put my cup
It is this.
in my garage, and I'm gonna throw her body away, and we're gonna be fine.
Same. It's assumed that Rifkin killed 16 more women. Oh, okay, so all of them were women during the next 4 years. He was implicated in Balk's murder after his arrest in 1993. Investigators determined in 2013 that Balk and the woman he described as his first victim were synonymous.
Synonymous.
Rifkin? Rifkin picked up prostitute Tiffany.
You pronounced for synonymous, but you messed up on prostitute.
That's a big word, Falmo. Okay.
I'm pretty sure synonymous is bigger than prostitute.
He picked up a prostitute on Allen Street in Manhattan on June  24th, 1993, with her pimp and boyfriend.
He did.
Ooh, both at the
It was
same
a pimp
time.
named.
Punk
He
rock
was a
musician.
pimp named Slickback.
No, actually, her boyfriend was a punk rock musician named Dave Rubenstein, who told Rubenstein that she was going to be returning
Time.
in 20 minutes.
Oh,
After
wonder what band he's in.
Tiffany failed to return, Rubenstein called the police with a description of a 1984 Mazda pickup truck that Rifkin drove. Partially as a result of her death, Dave Rubenstein committed suicide by
Oh,
overdose less than 2 weeks
obviously.
later.
Jeez,
I was
everybody's
about to say,
overdosing.
obviously, he's
Yeah.
not in any band at all. My bad.
What does he look like?
David, his name was
Let's pull
David Rubenstein.
Yikes.
Dave
Yeah.
Rubenstein.
Rubenstein.
Ooh,
David.
he looks like Flea from um
David
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Rubenstein.
Ugh, he
What I
looks
found said that
weird.
he's still alive, so that's not the right guy.
This one says he's still alive.
The one that I found,
No, this one is the one I sent to the group chat
He died
is
on
the one.
July 3rd.
he died on July
That's
Yeah,
3rd. Damn.
nuts.
Oh, he does kind of look like Flea.
just
Kind
right.
of. I wonder what band was he in? Oh, Reagan Youth. Huh.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
it says. Based hardcore. He's a co-founder of the New York-based hardcore punk band Reagan Youth.
Amen.
Founded the band with the guitarist Paul Back.
Oh my, if you look up Reagan Youth, those people are quite
Famous?
um,
Oh,
not
he's
famous,
not famous.
quite lookers.
Oh,
Quite
quite the
lookers.
lookers. So are they quite the lookers in a bad way or quite the lookers in a good way?
They're just lookers.
Youth. Reagan Youth.
I see a KKK outfit. That's all
Oh
I
yeah,
found.
I see that too. What are you making us look up?
Yeah.
What is going on? uh, oh, oh, this dude over here has lurch eyebrows, man. The dude that's on
Two
the
eyebrow.
dude that's on the very far left, he looks like a short version of Lurch. He come to the band, he said, "You rang."
Insane.
I mean,
And then there's like Hitler.
wait, what? Hang on.
Keep
What?
scrolling.
There's Hitler. On the
Yeah.
pictures wait, my phone is being crazy. On the pictures or what?
Where, where do you see
Yeah.
Hitler?
Here, I'll screenshot it. It's on like the pictures.
Oh yeah. So there's KKK guy doing the Zig Heil thing. Oh, that was
Yeah.
Hitler. Oh, were they a racist band? What's going on?
Don't
Were they
mind.
white supremacist band?
I'm still on Wikipedia. I don't see any of
Look
that.
here, look here. If these dudes were white supremacist band, then I don't feel bad for this guy overdosing. Actually, good. I'm glad he
Oh
overdosed.
my gosh.
Good. I'm glad he overdosed. Then
Oh, they're an anti-racist
why do
band.
they have all the pictures
Sorry.
with the KKK and stuff? That does not pursue as anti-racist.
They often utilize the KKK and Nazi party imagery for satirical effect.
Maybe they should explain that.
One of the band members, their nickname is called Cripple. So that's
Cripple.
great.
Is it the guy? Is
Cripple.
it the guy with the lurch eyebrows?
I don't know. Let's see. Paul. His name's Paul.
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 Here we go. Paul
Paul the
Cripple.
Cripple.
Images. I don't know. He looks old now. So.
Okay, look, this story is way crazier than what I thought it was. There's Paul the Cripple, and they have a maybe racist, not racist band, and a guy that OD'd. I didn't know all this stuff was part of this. Is new information that I'm getting from the Joel Rifkin case because I don't remember any or learning any of this.
Um, so back to they didn't name the they said he killed three people, right? But they didn't name the third
They
person.
never
Who was the third
they never
person?
found her body, I don't think. Or it might
Um,
be the one that he couldn't remember her name, but he buried underneath the mat, or he laid the body underneath the mattress box outside of a airport. And when the cops went to where he pointed on the map, they found the mattress box and the body still underneath it.
what?
It could be that one.
Um, they didn't say anything about that in here,
Uh,
so or not yet at least, so I don't know.
It'll be
On
later
June
when he gets caught. I think is when he comes when they talk about that
um on June 28th, 1993, at 3:15 a.m. Why are you out at 3:15
because he's
a.m.?
looking for hookers. We already know this.
State troopers patrolling Long Island's Southern State Parkway noticed a 1984 Mazda B2000 pickup truck without a license plate. After indicating for the driver to pull over, he failed to stop and led police on a 20 to 25-minute chase, ending after he lost control of the vehicle and crashed into a light pole. Same. The driver was identified as Joel
It was the
David.
same for you.
I
I was
know.
like, didn't you get like sideswiped or something, and that's why your car was messed up?
Yes, actually,
Yeah.
thanks.
See? So you didn't.
Thanks for
I was about to say,
reminding
see, but you
me.
didn't crash into a light pole running from the cops, so it's okay.
Same thing. Um,
It's still in our plans.
that's next year. After ending because he lost control of the vehicle, the driver was identified as Joel David Rifkin. And after searching the vehicle, the troopers found the body of Tiffany
Bresciani.
the Bershiani, thank you,
Yeah,
Clint, wrapped in a tarpaulin.
a tarp.
He was found guilt. Yeah, well, it says tarpaulin.
So look, it's
He
probably
was
someone on Wikipedia that messed up, but it was literally like one of those blue tarps that you get from Walmart.
Yes, I see that. Pulling it up, it does show like a camping tarp
Mhm.
I have to
type
say, or tarp.
situation.
It says tarp.
Yeah, that's
So
what I said.
yeah,
That's what I said. It's probably a
Anyways,
mistype on Wikipedia, but it was a tarp.
maybe that's the actual name for it, and that's
I
just
would say
tarp is what
it
we
has an
call it.
I
actual
mean,
name.
maybe I don't know. I've never
Yeah.
heard of tarpaulin ever in my life, so
Well, now you have, baby.
they could have some secret underground knowledge that I didn't know about.
Not the underground tarp knowledge.
God,
Anyways, he was found guilty of 9 counts of second-degree murder in 1994 and sentenced to 203 years in life, up to life in prison.
yep.
Up to life in prison. What do you mean up to? That is life in prison. The fuck?
Well, so I think the reason why they do like you're sentenced to 203 years is because there's actually somebody, I don't remember what his name is, But there's someone who was in prison long enough to complete his life sentence, and they set him free because he was.
How long is a life sentence?
So they typically, if you do a life sentence in Texas, anyways, typically is 99. You know, um,
Mm,
and so this dude was like 104 when he got released from prison because I mean, technically, he completed the 99 years. You know,
right. He got out and killed
no,
somebody.
he got out and then he died like 3 days later. But
Oh.
At least he didn't die in prison. Look at that.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
amen.
I'm just saying. So maybe that's why they say you're sentenced to 203 years, 203.5 years.
Makes sense.
I don't know though. It could lend also it could be just shock value for the people who are getting sentenced because like you caused all this shock to people and you caused all this hurt, so now we're gonna fucking get you back and give you some insane number so you're like, oh my god.
I still be like, bitch, just say life.
See that's but that's why you can't get sentenced because then they'd be like, you know what? Now you got double life. How about that?
Triple life,
Yeah,
bitch.
be smart again.
You know what? Same. Prison officials decided in 1996 that Rifkin was so notorious that his presence in the general prison population could be disruptive. He was confined to his cell at the Attica Correctional Facility for 23 hours per day.
so
He spent more than
Damn.
so disruptive, which meant that he kept getting his ass beat because he's such a loser, even as an adult. That they had to segregate him, so he would quit getting beat up.
same.
That's exactly what that means. Well, we put him on administrative segregation because his presence is disruptive to our prison. No, he's a little bitch and he keeps getting beat up.
Me too.
I don't
He spent
understand.
more than 4 years
Go ahead. Sorry.
What
being
don't you
not beat up.
understand?
I don't
Yeah.
understand how this dude got picked on so easily because he's not like a small guy. He's like 6'1", and I think like 200 something pounds. Like he's a big dude. You know what I mean? And people still
Right.
pick on him. Like he's a fucking. I mean, he is a nerd. Don't get me wrong. Like if you look at him and you see pictures of him, even now, like as he got older, um, he's like the textbook definition of nerd. You know what I mean? Like when you say nerd, that image that pops into your head of what somebody would look like as a nerd, that's what he is. Like straight up, he is like straight up a stereotype all around in circles. Because they even found like inside of his room where he was segregated, where he'd segregate himself from his family and stuff. They even found like uh books on different serial killers and stuff that like he was researching because he knew what he was. You know, like he's that much of a stereotype that he literally fit every single category you would think. Oh, that guy's a serial killer. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, love that for him.
Yeah.
At least I caught him.
Yeah, they got him, and now he gets picked on. Well, he's in seg now, so he can't get picked on anymore. But he was getting picked on in prison because he's a big old just giant nerd. His stepdad was real mad at him because he wasn't good at playing football and stuff, and his dad would get frustrated at him. Um, he had some kind of learning disability, I think. He was dyslexic and something else, and uh, he is such a whiny baby shit that in one of his interviews he said that the best time in his life was when he was 5 years old. He said those were the good times. And I'm like, oh, so before anything ever happened, that's the good times. he he finds he finds a way to blame everyone else except for himself for anything that he's ever done. You know, I got picked on. I did this. I did that. Boo hoo, wham wham. I don't want to step up for my crimes.
So does that mean I get to be a serial
I
killer?
mean, if you
Yes.
want to,
Okay.
that's your life's
Okay.
goal. Then pursue your dreams, baby. Just don't tell me about it because I don't want to have to do a Wheeze episode on you. Then
Why not?
me and Laurie are gonna rip on you and be like, you know what? She's such a dumb shit. And whenever she puts on a filter on Snapchat, the eyes don't ever open.
You're right. You got me there.
Have you ever figured out why that is?
It's because my eyes are so squinty. I got squinty eyes. I don't know what you want from me.
I'm hoping you're the first victim
or is it
going after her
or is it
eyes.
because you take it recreationally the lettuce all the time?
Listen, what it really is like my cheekbones are really high, and they were like I got really fat cheeks, and so when I laugh, right, my eyes get squinty and my cheeks cover like
But
make
the
my
whole
eyes
thing
even more
is that
squinty,
that
and
time
it's
that it was messing up on your, it was messing up only on one eye, and you were eating chips, so you weren't even laughing. That one eye just kept drooping
I was
down. Oh, you
smiling.
were smiling. It's like that one eye kept drooping
Same
down.
thing. Hold on, let me. Same.
Oh,
Maybe. Oh my God. What if I have? What is it? What is that shit?
you have a lazy eye?
Where you're half it? No.
Like what Justin Bieber has?
Bell palsy?
Where? Yeah.
No, you don't have Bell palsy. Because it's not just your eye that messes up. It's like the whole side of your face. So like your mouth and everything droops. Because Bell
You don't
palsy
know
is
that.
like in the same realm as like having a stroke.
I feel like I'm having a stroke.
I mean, just because you feel like it doesn't mean you
Same.
actually are. Because I feel like I'm having aneurysms all the time, but I know I'm not.
How do you know?
Because it's just happens when someone says
Oh.
something. So
Mhm.
it happens when someone
Yep.
says something so completely stupid that my brain is just like, yeah, you know, and I'm like,
Okay.
I'm having, like, I'm gonna have a fucking aneurysm from sheer stupidity. So how long is
Anyways,
this episode supposed to be? Because we've still got like 30 minutes if you want to make it an hour.
Well, we haven't finished. Okay.
right, we're
We're
I thought we
still
did. I thought we
at
did.
his.
You said that he got convicted and he was in prison.
Right. We got his prison life,
Oh, okay. Well then, keep
bitch.
going. I was confused.
Mhm.
Oh, calm
I was
down.
confused. I thought we reached the end.
Oh my God. And they have so many more names for his
Oh yeah,
victims.
there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
So we can shout out his
Well, it's like
victims.
No.
there's 17. There's 17 of them, so it's gonna be a lot of names. You know, there's
No, because some of them are just number six, number nine.
there's gonna be little Bobby Joe Jr. and
69.
there's little Bobby Joe Jr. and Frankie Valley the Third. And what you doing, Sheffy? What you doing, Mom? We should be a good kitty. Sorry, my my cat's laying on me. We still.
Anyways,
Anyways,
Well, continue.
yeah, I lost where I was.
he was
He
in
was
his
spent
like little thing for like 23 hours
Yeah,
per
he was
day.
in his solitary confinement for 23 hours per day. He spent more than 4 years in solitary confinement. Then he was transferred to the Clinton Correctional Facility in Clinton County, New York. He sued, arguing that his solitary imprisonment was unconstitutional. In 2000, a state appellate court determined that the prison officials had not violated his constitutional rights by housing him in isolation. Corrections officials said that Rifkin was in prison with more than 200 other inmates at Clinton who were not allowed into the general prison population. It was initially speculated that Rifkin could be responsible for the Gilgo Beach serial killings. However, Rifkin denied any involvement with the case, and the timeline of the discovery did not match when Rifkin was active. In 2023, Rex Heuermann, an architect from oh my gosh, from someplace, was arrested and charged with the murder of several women,
Just said Massa.
several
Sorry.
Mrs.
women.
Massa. Oh my God. I can't say that. Oh my God.
Basically,
Oh my God.
Anyways, and then he had, yeah, it just names like 17 people that he
Yeah.
murdered besides number six and number
So they
nine.
think.
Six and nine are
Yeah.
the only ones with no
So the
names.
reason why I think the 6 and 9 is the ones with no names is I think because he was suspected of the Gilgo Beach murders, which was proven to be false. But they also think that some of the, because I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard of the Long Island serial killer that was active and killing people, and they never caught him. And supposedly, the Long Island serial killer is still active today. Um, so they think that some of the murders that they attributed to the Long Island serial killer was actually Joel Rifkin, and they didn't realize it. Because when the Long
Right.
Island serial killer started, they would have been active around the same time. So it's possible
Hmm.
that number six, it was it's number six and number nine.
Yeah.
So it's
Yes.
possible that those were also contributed to the Long Island serial killer. I don't know though. I'm not 100% sure, but because at the time Joel Rifkin was active, supposedly the statistics say that there was probably at least like 60 to 80 serial killers active at once in the United States at one time.
Amen.
Because it was like during the peak, because it started in what, like the 70s, and then it got real big in like the 80s and 90s, and then it started to peter out because people stopped answering their doors.
Right, right, right.
And then there started.
Or people just stopped thinking it was cool to be a serial killer.
No, but I mean, there's still serial killers out there, I'm sure. Like, I am sure. It's just they
Right.
get caught faster because there's cameras and stuff everywhere now. Which I think that's the reason why in recent years, we have seen an uptick of mass shootings instead of serial killers. Because back then you could hide in the shadows and you wouldn't get caught because there wasn't cameras and stuff. Now, if you want to kill a whole bunch of people, you're gonna get caught and you can't do it quietly, so they might as well take them all out at once. You know what I mean?
That makes sense. I swear to God, if you fucking claw me, get down.
Don't be mean to that baby.
He's the one
Be mean,
crawling up
Ron.
my bed like a demon.
Nah, just let him lay down. That's what my Pokey and Socks and Persephone are doing.
Love that for them.
But that's my theory, anyways. I think that's the reason why we have seen a drop in serial killers, is because there's too many cameras and it's too easy to get caught nowadays. Because that's, I
Right.
mean, that's one thing that about serial killers is they want to do everything in private during the actual murder. They don't want to be found. They don't want nobody around. That's just them and the body. And or it's just them in the situation. And because some of them didn't mess with the body after the body was dead. Like some of them did. Like Joel Rifkin, for instance, he would cut up the bodies and stuff. Arthur Shawcross, another guy that we were talking about doing, he would go back and repeatedly visit the bodies and play with the bodies like they were toys. And you can't do stuff like that nowadays because there's cameras.
Fucking
Not
That,
cameras.
not everywhere though.
I know, but like, so like I think like that's why more than likely you would see it in other countries, or excuse the term, I'm not trying to get heat on us or nothing, but in poorer countries where they don't have as much access to stuff like security cameras and stuff, like in South America or in Africa or somewhere, or in the Middle East or somewhere like that. Because I think that's why, if because if you go and look at the list, we there's a lot of serial killers in America. Don't get me wrong, like we have a bunch. There is a lot, like hundreds. But then if you look at the overseas people, like in Europe and the Middle East and Africa and South America and all that stuff, there is way more. Like we are just a tiny fraction on the scale of everything. You know what I mean?
Amen. Kidding. Right, I get that, but like you don't really hear about serial killers from other countries, so
Yeah, I mean that's because most people don't research it and they don't publicize it as much as America has. That's why America's so famous for it, because we publicize everything. It's all over the news and all this kind of stuff. Like Ted Bundy's trial was the first trial to ever actually be publicly publicized, and he made a fucking spectacle out of it because that's the type of person he was. He's a sociopath. He was a sociopath, a narcissist, a sadist, and I have all this attention on me, so I'm gonna make it about me. and he made a big showing of it because he was a dark and disturbed and sick and twisted individual. All the serial killers are really. The only one that I kind of have a soft spot for is old Jeffrey Dahmer. I mean, he's still a sick and twisted person. Don't get me wrong, but I think he's one that if he would have got the necessary help he needed, he may have been saved. He may not have murdered 11 dudes or how many 16 dudes. How much ever it was. I think it was like 16. Um, I think if he would have got the mental health help he needed, he may have been fine, and he probably wouldn't have murdered all these dudes, and probably would have been able to accept that he was gay and living a famous life in San Francisco now or something.
Not San Francisco.
I mean, statistically, San Francisco is the gay capital of the world. I'm not saying that to be stereotypical. I'm saying that because the numbers match.
Do they?
But that's just my
No,
that's
I
just
don't.
my opinion. I don't know if it's truth. I could be just spouting nonsense. But I really think that's
All
why.
right.
You guys have anything y'all want to add? Or are we just gonna be silent now?
Yeah, we're just gonna be silent now. Let us be
We'll be
silent.
silent for 10 minutes, guys. We gotta do
And we're going to have a moment of
a
silence
moment.
for
No, we're gonna be
the victims.
like 16, 17. What is it?
Mhm. 16,
How many minutes do we have
16 minutes until an hour. Be
to
quiet for 16 minutes. think about
for all the victims?
think about what we said.
All right. Well, it's been real,
Good.
guys.
It's been real. It's been fun.
But it
Thanks for
has
joining
been
our
real
I guess
fun.
it's, I guess it's actually been real fun today too, though. So, anyways, Paperboy gotta go.
Bye.
Paperboy, gotta go.
Bye.